I'm like gonna kill you for real. Yeah, and I just went live, so that just went on air. So bad. Oh, all right. So I don't. Okay. Yeah. Do you want me to send the invite again? Okay. You can't cut and paste. All right. So here's my challenge right now. I'm live. Hi, everybody. I'm in my headphones. I can hear barbecue, but you all can't hear barbecue unless you're on barbecue's channel. So we're going to try to have him get in here to my side so y'all can hear him as well. At least I think that's what we're trying to do. So bear with us, because goodness knows only replay viewers, well, and gun websites, because gun websites is already here. So I gotta get my stuff working. So yeah, I can put it in your chat, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me just hold on. Well, I mean, I have to imagine for my viewers, this is entertaining. I know. Yes. No. I have that. I'm at least that savvy theoretically, unless I just closed you. I totally just closed barbecue. Awesome. All right. So, where are you? Sorry. Here I am thinking that I'm all smart and stuff, but I can't find my StreamYard with you in it. There we are. I see your forehead. In your thing, why does it only tell? Oh, private chat. There it is. All right, folks. So those of you who are waiting for us to talk about stuff, thank you for dealing with my technical issues, so that you can see me and barbecue and hear him, because I'm guessing only I hear him right now. Okay. Gotcha. Well, I just posted it back up. All right. Okay. Let me add you to stream.
Hey, look at that. Hot dang.
Oh, crud. How do we fix that?
Oh, echoing.
I don't know. I got my headset on. You got your headset on.
Let me see what is happening on my side. Oh, here. Maybe if I do that.
All right. I think I hear you. Oh, now you're echoing?
Still an echo.
Oh, not on this side. You cleared it up on this side. So one of these days we'll get this all straight up.
Hey, that sounds great now.
Okay. See, now then I get the echo.
Oh, now you got the echo?
I do. What did you do to stop your echo?
I muted myself over here. We've done this before, and
I got nothing.
You know what? I've got another idea.
Okay.
So I'm gonna mute myself, and there's more than one way to skin a cat, they say. So everybody can still see what's happening. I'm just gonna screen share.
So I can
our
still
conversation
hear you.
from your channel. Terrific. But everybody on my channel cannot hear me right now, which is fine.
Okay, because I'm all confused. Oh, all right. So
don't worry. Let's say this is professional operation here, folks.
Okay.
This is what you all pay for. They're sitting there going, "We don't pay anything." This is why. This is why this production is this
free?
way.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you have comments over on yours already too. Holy moly's! Yeah, you got a lot more comments than mine. All right. You let me know when you figured out how to do your side so people can hear.
Doing it again.
And we'll get started. Okay. Now I get to hear the lag instead.
Now it's lagging?
Well,
you you got headphones on.
I got headphones on.
If only we had, a super professional person out there that could help us.
Yeah, I think DJ's still sleeping. G-Webs, you're here. Help barbecue and me.
But now it's gone again. I don't know what the heck is going on.
All right. Well, I hear you.
But and I can hear you.
I hear
So,
myself with that little lag thing.
And we'll just make this full screen. So I am streaming within the stream.
Okay.
So.
All right.
This is like Ghostbusters where you don't cross the streams.
Yeah.
We're breaking the fourth wall.
I figure that. Awesome. I'm going to get to hear myself twice.
I don't.
Everything that we're saying.
Understand why it's doing that.
G-Webs, I need to know on my audio, do you hear both?
And it's gone again.
For you. But it's still here for me.
It just comes and goes.
Me, the people. Very cute. All right, G-Webs has disappeared. Hey, Fiona. Tell me, do you hear me with an echo? No echoes on G-Webs. Awesome.
Cool.
All right.
Then
Let's just
we
go.
just get to suffer with it.
Do my best to ignore it.
Yes.
It's very hard to ignore yourself talking to yourself. So, all right. Hello, Patriots. Who's going to do their intro first?
You can do the intro.
I'll do the intro.
Awesome.
All right. So, my name is Brooke Cheney. I am the current state director for the DC project. I've even got my shirt on today. Today, we are going to talk about the ridiculous legislation that is going through Connecticut. There is a page from our governor, a bill, and it is 50 pages long. It has 34 sections, and the title, I must actually read. But the important part is it's SB 16, an act addressing gun violence and juvenile crime. And I can show it to you real quick, I think, if I do this right. Anything's questionable. Share screen. So here's what we're going to talk about today. Just this first one, because like I said, it's 50 pages and it's absolutely ridiculous. So for those of you who want to talk about all the rest of these, come to my Facebook/Zoom stuff that I'm doing later on today. So that is what we're going to talk about today.
When's your next Zoom meeting that you're doing?
So I just got off at 1:00 with some people, and my next one's going to be at 6:00 tonight. Then I have another one scheduled for noon on Saturday, and then 7 p.m. on Saturday night. And to get there, what you're going to do is go to Facebook event, and this is where I wish I had DJ here already.
Let me call him. Be like, hey, wake up, slacker.
All right, so barbecue. This is what G-Web said. Where was I? So Facebook. Yeah, there we go. It is an event, and in there are Zoom stuff. And I'm just trying to get the link for y'all because it's all listed there. And you would think I would have had that set up ahead of time, but no. Here, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my site. And then y'all can just go there and look at events. And that's the best I could do. See, DJ's still sleeping. He went to bed too late.
Hey, slacker, wake up. Brooke needs your help. That should get his attention. Oh, I should have sent it urgent. I don't know if that actually makes a difference, but.
Oh, Gunpowder Beauty says echoes from barbecue.
I don't understand why. I say,
All right, so
as long as it's echoing on my end and not yours, we're good to go. People on my end can suffer.
Great. Here's the echo. Okay. All right, I will do my best to talk through myself. All right. Last night, Barbecue and I got together and talked about how much information is too much information to jump on here and talk about Connecticut problems. And he told me not. there is no amount that's too much. All right, Fiona, God bless, because unfortunately on everything I say, I'm hearing myself again.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll just have to roll with it.
I know. I'm trying, man. All right. So, SB Act 16, an act addressing gun violence. I spent multiple days last week summarizing this 50-page monster. So, I definitely want to show you all my warning. I am not a lawyer or professional at reading these things. This is only my opinion on what I think is being said. Please read the actual section and make up your own mind. This is meant to be a summary so you can look at the parts that might be interesting to you. There are some comments that need a sarcasm font. I will leave that for you to figure it out. Oh, and Fiona's making fun of me. I'm like, no, I really don't. It's very challenging. All right. So, 50 pages. Here's what I'm broke it down to. Section 1 that we have here is actually funding for the police. Oh, what the heck's it called? The taking illegal guns off of the streets. So it is actual crime prevention. But then Section 2, they're talking about ghost guns. Section 3 is more gun-free zones. And most of us here know lots of people die in gun-free zones. That's never a good thing. Then the next couple sections really have to do with getting rid of others and any kind of rifle, basically. Let's see what else. Section 10 on starts talking about creating a whole brand new, what's it called? Oh, I'm an airhead.
Hey, Brooke, I just thought of something.
Yeah, I need to mute on my side.
No, not on your side. On my side.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, and that might fix us.
Let me find you. Let me find me.
Yep.
Stop mic. Well, I only had to do stop. Oh, you. There you go.
Sounds good now.
Okay.
Look at that. It only took us like 10 minutes, but we got it.
It'll make it a little better.
All right.
Or not. All right. So our governor feels that the FFLs don't have enough paperwork to do, and so they have to do more. Then it goes on to, Section 18, me and my mental health issue. So give me just 1 second because... All right, so Section 18 is basically saying when I go to renew my pistol permit, they're going to do a mental health background check on me. And the crazy part of that is if I've been in a mental health place due to alcohol abuse or drug abuse, I'll still get my pistol permit. However, if it's for anything else, my pistol permit will be denied. So that's 24 of 34. A bunch of sections redefining what family violence is, making sure there's locks on all guns. Juvenile. Oh, they finally got the juvenile in sections 30 to 32. And that's it. And then we have one more gun violence task force. And that is the only second part that has anything to do with gun violence. So there you have it. And I'm moving the cursor on the wrong place. All right. It's ugly. And I'm going to try again to mute myself on barbecue.
No, I think you're good.
No, I didn't.
No?
No, because I was trying to get rid of the other thing.
Oh.
So in theory, now muted on your side.
Okay.
I can't get rid of my echo.
here, I'm just gonna end mine, and we will just roll on yours.
All those people, you better drop a link before you go. People won't know where to go.
And say, well, G Web's already threw it out on my side. He's like, the link to the good stream. So thank God G Web's did that. But yeah, be sure to go over to Brooks. Let me go to the YouTubes because yeah, we're not gonna have this really important stuff get ruined because we're trying to just reach more people. Your people are more important because hopefully they're
more in
Connecticut residents. Yes, I probably have like 3 people from Connecticut.
It's possible.
There we go.
All right, so if I close StreamYard on your side.
Yep.
Okay. Dear Lord, please let me not hear myself. Yes. Oh, so
Look at
much
that.
better. Oh, yeah, that was super hard.
Huh.
Okay. Now I can talk like a normal person.
Oh heck! Well then, if you're not hearing yourself now we can really rock and roll because I can still leave mine up then. So not to cut you off, but obviously people have short attention spans. For those that have short attention spans, what would you say are the 5 most egregious things in this bill?
So the worst part about the whole thing is the name of the bill, is that it's called a gun violence prevention bill, and it has little to nothing to do with gun violence. So just calling the governor out and calling legislators out on that is probably the most important thing. It's called a gun violence prevention bill, but it does nothing to prevent any gun violence. The whole thing is garbage. It's 34 sections, 2 of which actually have anything to do with gun violence. So it's lying to the people. It's lying to the legislators, because one of the things I really want to make clear is that our legislators mean well. They want to do the right thing. However, they just can't read all of the bills. And that's why it's so important for people like you and I to be involved in this so that we can help educate them. Because someone says gun violence prevention bill, of course I'm going to vote yes for that, having no idea what's actually in there. So I think that's kind of the main point of it. And so if you want to write in on it, you can just do on the overview of the fact that it is, it's disingenuous. It doesn't have anything to do with gun violence. All of it is bad. But for people who want to actually write testimony on it, if you want to do something beyond the minimal testimony, such as this, there it is. You can submit testimony as simple as, I'd like to voice my support and raise bills, and I would like to vote no on bills. 5416 and SB 16 is what we're talking about today. But if you want to get into it, my whole thing is always go to the thing that makes you most annoyed. Go to the thing that makes you more frustrated, because that's kind of it.
Yeah,
Does that
with
make
34
sense?
different. Yep, with 34 different things in there, I mean, there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah. And like I said, 3 pieces of it have to do with juvenile crime. G-Webs, way to stigmatize mental health and tension, keep people who might need help from even seeking it out. Exactly. In one of my testimonies, I'm not sure which one I'm submitting yet, but I actually talked about that section of the bill about, mental health checks. And it's so hard because as it is, when we know, most of us know that when they talk about gun violence, that 66% of that is suicide prevention or suicide. And so they're being disingenuous by calling it gun violence because it's a mental health problem. And Cobalt asks, does a mental health check violate HIPAA? So I thought that too. And what someone pointed out to me is chances of what's going to happen is when I go to renew my pistol permit, there's going to be a line on there that I have to check and sign saying, yes, it's okay for you to check my mental health. And as we know, most of us have forms in front of us, we'll sign them and then not even realize that we have that we've signed our lives away, basically.
Yep.
So
with that though, Let's say you don't check that. Do they just automatically deny you? Because then you're being forced to choose between your Second Amendment right or your right to privacy for your healthcare.
So my choice is we never find out the answer to that question. Is what I'm really going for, is that they don't pass this bill.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't even want to go there, quite honestly, because this bill is a lie, considering what the title of it is, because it's really not addressing gun violence in any way. It's creating more bureaucracy. It's turning people like myself and Fiona, who is another firearms owner, into felons for not changing a thing in our life. So they keep going, oh, yes, my black rifles, right? They're going after the black rifles. They're going after anything that they don't want. And this is probably one of the worst things ever, because I do my research. I look at violence prevention, and black rifles specifically don't even rate their own column in the FBI database for committed a crime.
Yeah.
And so they keep going after these things that have nothing to do with crime. So the whole thing is egregious. It's really hard to pick a worse one thing that's worse than the other. But if you want, we can go through the ones that I have. I can talk about, because I'd say there's probably my top 5 that I've got going on here. Sound good?
Whatever you want to go with. Yeah.
All right.
Whatever you
Well,
want to go
you
with.
can ask questions, right? You know, if there's
Hey,
other things.
I'm here to help as
right.
much as possible, which at the beginning here, I was more of a distraction with the echo happening. But really just to accompany you as you run through this, because there is a lot to run through. But yeah, I think what you think would be the top 5,
Okay.
at least personally to you, would be a good way to start. That way, again, people with short attention spans or anything like that, they can go, oh, those sound really bad. And if that's all they want to write a testimonial on, cool. But hopefully they can choose at least half of these, or at least one is
Yeah.
the big thing. Choose
Absolutely.
at least one, write a testimonial, get it submitted to your House committee, and while you're at it, copy and paste, send it to your senators and your congressmen and congresswomen, and make sure that you're contacting all the branches that you can.
Exactly. So before I get started on the list, here it is. In Connecticut, they need to show how they can carry out and pay for the demands of a bill before they present it. No, they do not. They get to just pass stuff.
That'd be nice.
It's actually, our budgeting system in general is 100% upside down. They actually vote on a budget and decide what they want to spend before they look at what their income actually is. So in Connecticut, it's super bad. It's not even about bills. It's just we have an upside down system in general.
I wish I could do that.
All right, let's get those. All right, we'll get the 5. Yeah, Constitution State. Yeah. Not so much in Connecticut currently. All right, so G-Webs, we will get to that next time, because I just happened to send DJ, but like I said, I think he's sleeping. All right, so I'm going to go to my list here. I have actual crime prevention, section 1, totally for that. Ghost guns. Here's the deal. They're trying to make everyone who's ever built their own gun have to go get some serial number or something. Again, the biggest problem they have here is they're trying to go against ghost guns when there's actually nothing wrong with ghost guns. They're not predominantly in crime.
Well, the problem is the term ghost gun in the first place. We've been able to manufacture our own firearms since before we had our independence. It's something as old as a century, and if not older. So to sit there and call them ghost guns because it conjures up fear, this idea of a ghost, and they're there and they're gone, and is an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just it. The media makes up so much garbage. So ghost guns are any gun that doesn't have a serial number on it. And prior to 1968, no guns were required to have serial numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them had numbers on them if they were special editions kind of stuff. So if you want to look at the actual bill, ghost guns lines 42 through 204 will tell you what they're talking about when they're talking about non-marked guns, and what their definition of a ghost gun is. And then if you want to find out what the bad stuff is, that's where you look at what happens if you break the laws. Section 3, creating more gun-free zones. Those are lines 205 through 288. I didn't put the page numbers on here because I was spittering and sputtering, quite honestly, as I was going through this. So, oh wait, but while we're talking about ghost guns, gunsmithing, not ghost guns. Exactly. This is the whole point.
Yep.
Making your own gun does not mean you're some crazy underground person. Another thing G-Webs brings up, they're also called kit guns.
Yep.
And GP, Gunpowder Beauty, a term to help government push an agenda, charge us money. Exactly. And that's just it, is the ghost gun thing is you have to go to DESPP and register, and you have to pay them. So it's just going to be another tax. It has nothing to do with violence prevention. Cobalt, I can't even say that today. Absolutely custom guns. And GW said the same thing. So again, this does nothing to help reduce crime. There isn't a problem with guns that don't have serial numbers in it. The ones that you hear about or you see on the CSI shows and crime, all of that is going to be people have taken the serial numbers off of guns so they can't be traced. So, all right, section 3, creating more gun-free zones, lines 205 through 288. Here's the deal. Most of us that are watching this or listening to this are gun owners. Some of us do self-defense, some of us don't. Some of us just like having guns. However, we do know, painfully so, that gun-free zones are where the most deaths occur. In that, if you actually look at the FBI statistics on where violence happens and why gun-free zones have so many deaths in them, when you look at people like Adam Lanza and the Columbine shootings and all of that, and they look at the reports that have been done on that, the people who are creating the crime are specifically choosing gun-free zones because they know they have the highest chance of a large body count. So the idea that people want to create more gun-free zones in order to feel safer just makes the people in any polling place, municipal state building, any bus, train, or ferry operated by the government, and then no guns allowed at demonstrations or gatherings as defined. So when I was at the State House a couple of years ago, someone had a sign that said, "Criminals love a gun-free zone." And all the reports actually show that. The other thing they're kind of sneaking into Section 3 is show me your papers. So they also want to take your Fourth Amendment right away by taking out who has reasonable suspicion of a crime from the existing statute that allows them to just walk up to you and say, show me your permit. So that's where we're at there. And wait a second, Guns-n-BBQ, you can't add, you can't post up their links, can you? What they're asking.
No, I'd have to be
over there
moderator thing on your channel
to
do so.
I'll have to figure out how to do that. So
you have to send me. It's kind of, I shouldn't say it's complicated, but be a bit more in depth than we want to jump into right now.
All right, so like it's evil to do at home or something. You're and now a terrorist. I'm pretty sure Lunatic Rider's talking about building their own guns. And
now, I'm guessing there's no grandfather clause where, hey, if you had these already, you can just keep them. But any new ones will have to be serialized. They're gonna retroactively make you go back, and anything that you have that doesn't have a serial number get serialized.
So I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna say there was some mention in there about curios and relics and stuff like that, but in general, what Lunatic Rider is saying here, all this bill does is hurt law-abiding citizens and not criminals. It really turns pretty much any gun owner into a criminal for doing stuff that in the past had been 100% illegal and had not caused any problem. And Ozzy, I'm just going to say for today, we're sticking on Connecticut. But yeah, there's lots of anti-gun stuff hidden all over the place. And this is part of the reason why we're trying to go through this bill, is because it's one stinking bill in Connecticut and it's got 50 pages. the stuff that happens at the federal level is absolutely insane. I mean, as a member of DC Project, we do try to also work federally, but for today, we're just freaking out for Monday because this is when we're going to actually be seeing this legislation come forward. And Lunatic Rider's thing about in California, they'd rather protect the criminals than the good law-abiding citizens. In Connecticut, it is the same. We have lots of problems where we have tons of gun laws that are broken on a regular basis, and they end up not they don't prosecute them with the laws that are currently there. So, gun-free zones, definitely not good. And it just shows, again, the politicians are not paying attention to what actually prevents violence, because I know there are gun-grabbing politicians out there. However, not all of them are. And this is why it's so important that you and I write in when stuff like this comes up. Because they don't understand gun-free zones make a zone for criminals to go when they want to create mayhem and horrible things to occur. Section 4. This is how they're going to put a lot of gun shops out of business. I know about you, but generally when we talk about this, people are always saying, oh, they're not going to take away your guns. They're not going to take away your guns. I'm like, yeah, they kind of pretty much are. In that if this bill passes, I already know of at least one, if not more, gun stores that will actually shut down. And that's exactly what the anti-gun crowd wants. And those are the people who are actual gun grabbers. There are people who will read the title of this, right? Gun violence, an act addressing gun violence. Say, of course we're supposed to do this. But they don't understand that the rest of this is really about creating more bureaucracy. And back to Beauty's point of more taxes, more income for the state. Because as we get down here more, Section 10, they're creating a license to sell firearms. So those of you wonderful people who are FFLs, for those of you watching who don't know what that is, a federal firearms licensee, those are all your gun shops. And this is where our governor said, well, we don't think gun shops are taking their responsibility correctly or well. And that was in his press release regarding all of this stuff. And so he thinks that Connecticut can make a better amount of laws and garbage to throw in here. Now, the other part of the Section 10, which is horrible, is that it's random in that it puts out a whole bunch of stuff as far as who and what can do, who needs this state licensing. And then it puts out a whole bunch of lines of, well, they must do this, this, this. And then they've got it open-ended at the end. And whatever else the DESPP requires. So they're putting a bill that gives free rein to our department of our firearms department in Connecticut. And that's super, super dangerous. So
really, you could jump through all their ridiculous hoops, and when they're like, "Wow, this person actually did it," you need to do 100 sit-ups in a minute. Can't do that? Well, no gun. Sorry.
Right, and it's totally up to whoever our commissioner is. Is it specifically states and whatever else a commissioner deems necessary? And I was talking to one of my other friends, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the commissioner changes almost every 2 years." So the havoc that this licensing could create is just unknown for sure. What else? Appeals to get a license. Basically, they're actually limiting what you can appeal. Then there's a whole bunch more garbage on state licenses. Like I said earlier, the Section 18 on mental health background checks, super horrible. And it's, if you've been confined in a psychiatric with psychiatric disabilities, but it doesn't count if it's for alcohol dependence or drug dependence, which at the time of writing this, I didn't know how it wasn't a HIPAA violation, but I just explained that before. So,
yep.
All right, let me look at comments real quick since I'm going to yell at DJ later. So, there is little real crime, and their reasons for control have effectively challenged. So they need to create more facets to attack property, not root causes of violence. Right. And the root cause of violence is actually one of the main parts of the testimony I'm submitting, or what I'm probably going to be saying when I actually testify on Monday, which is the name of the bill is addressing gun violence, and it does little or nothing to do that. And I'm going to show them where the FBI, Department of Justice, Department of Education have come up with lots of ways that you can actually address violence. You can actually make a difference in communities. And my whole thing is, think of it from a manager's point of view. If I am managing you and you want to come to me with a problem, you better come to me with a solution for the problem as well. And I think one of our challenges in our Second Amendment world is that we say it's our right, which it is. However, we're not necessarily always good at explaining to them, here is a solution. Here is something you can actually do for this. That it's just, don't take my guns. It's, okay, we're all for violence prevention. Here are some programs that actually have been shown to make a difference. And oh, by the way, they're not from the NRA. They're not from Brady campaign. They're from our federal government and the FBI and the DOJ and all of that.
It's funny how they fund those studies and then just ignore them.
Yeah, well, I started because I'm here in Connecticut, I started my research back at Sandy Hook.
Mhm.
My kids were 5 and 6 at the time. It was brutal. So I went to FBI, DOJ, and I specifically stayed away from NRA or LOT or Brady campaign, any of that sort of stuff, because I'm like, nope, I want to go find out my own stuff. Not to discredit LOT in any of that. It's just that, like, oh, well, that's your side, so of course it says that. So there are lots of things. So GWeb says education versus legislation, which is what it says on my shirt, in case anybody didn't already know. I'm just not in the screen enough. Is the statement for DC project. Campaign to urge creators to all focus on education of 80% kit, do it yourself, etc., to effectively remove these false narratives. So yes and no. The challenge with that is those of us who are watching most of this are already gun owners. We actually already know why what we're doing is not scary, right? However, what we need to figure out is, what is the bridge that we can build to be able to actually reach people who want to hear about how to prevent gun violence, if that makes sense. There is no estimate currently as to whether or not this horrible bill is being passed. I know myself, CCDL, Connecticut Citizens Defense League, and gun stores are trying to rally as many people as possible. But sadly, as we all know, sometimes it just doesn't matter. If they want to pass it, they can pass it. The Democrats have the majority. If their whip decides to say, you're going to pass this, there's not a lot we can do. The best we can do is that whole reaching other people, right? Is get more people to write in.
Any idea how many co-sponsors are on this bill?
It's not. It's the governor's bill.
Oh, because it's governor, yeah.
And it's actually, they snuck it in under budgeting. They didn't even, it's not actually, it's in judiciary, but it's under a special rule because it has that first section that we talked about is the one that's actually funding the police task force. Okay. So, California doesn't like giving out FFLs. Yeah. And they don't like, nobody likes nobody, not nobody, but the government definitely doesn't like what they can't control. So more stuff when you're reading through this thing, the ammo and magazine sales, paperwork on assault rifles, they're just, again, they're asking for even more information than normal, your social security number, all this sort of stuff, and it's lots and lots of more paperwork for FFLs and anyone selling or trying to own a firearm. And then we get into the family violence. They're redefining which things is a serious juvenile offense, because now one of the things they're trying to add in here is they are trying to make it so that they're redefining what a serious juvenile offense is, and they're making it so if you have a serious juvenile offense on your record, that now you can get a pistol permit. And that goes back to a couple sections ago where they're talking about what you can appeal and what you cannot appeal. So not only are they going into your mental health background, they're going to go into your juvie record as well. And yeah, gun violence task force. The one other thing in here that is actually about violence prevention. And it does talk about the stuff that the FBI and everybody else believes in, which is creating community, talking about building within communities that have violence problems and actually paying attention to where the problems are. So at least there's that little bit. All right, that's it. That was my speed reading of a 50-page document that's going up before our Judiciary Committee on Monday.
Which is terrifying, everything that's in there. I mean, just those couple of things that you went through, to think that there, like we said before, 34 different points that are in there that they're going after is, it just boggles my mind.
Yeah, let me see if I can catch up. Admitted fraud test. Yeah, I have no idea. This is the problem. I know that here in Connecticut, as far as the ADA goes, a couple of years ago back, maybe even right after Sandy Hook, they actually, the CCDL helped bring a suit against the state regarding ADA and why some people need to have their rifles. It's kind of like that simple. Illinois, most of what you've been like, well, Ozzy Osbourne, I am shocked because usually it feels as though Connecticut is the proving ground for all of the horrible things. I'm not going to lie. And that's just it. I don't know what happens if you get denied, because that's part of this, is they're redefining what allows you to be able to go and appeal if you're denied. So again, when Barbecue was asking before about, well, what happens if, and I'm like, ultimately, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, if this passes, it's horrible, because I don't know if y'all know, if you've ever heard of our wonderful senators, Mr. Murphy and Mr. Blumenthal, if this passes in Connecticut, all of you are screwed, because the next place it's going to go to is DC. Because I really do feel like we are definitely a proving ground for all the stuff they're trying to get through. So
yeah. I just thought of something, the what ifs these things do get passed, and that's another talking point that people can write in their testimonial. So really, you could write in saying, hey, I am in opposition to HB, what was it, 5416, and what, SB 16, I think you said, and that can be one testimonial. Then they can go into the talking point of I'm in opposition to this because of such and such. Yeah, and then another testimonial can be, I'm in opposition to this because such and such. What if this gets passed? You guys aren't being clear on what the repercussions are for this thing and following. So really, you could have two testimonials off of one thing. Or, I mean, that is a little bit of extra time and whatnot, but you can break it down that way or just put it all in one. But that gets more in depth in the one, which is good. So,
right. So we actually did that. That's the one that's up right now. It could be as simple as Judiciary Committee, I'd like to voice my support for, I would like to vote no on. And when I was helping people write legislation yesterday, what we did was we left the first line just the way it is, supporting. And then he talked about why he was against the other bills. And honestly, I think Lunatic Writer's comment is also something you just put in there. It's like, how about leave law-abiding citizens alone? Yeah. Because that could be a perfect line in your testimony. It can be that simple. Wow, I am so far behind on comments. So thank you all for commenting, but give me a sec.
I'm trying to remember the exact statistic, because I'm guessing they didn't put in any statistics for quote unquote ghost guns with this. And back when we had the comment period last year for redefinition of firearms and receivers, where they mentioned, as the ATF put some PMFs, privately manufactured firearms, that I believe it was 29,000 were found at crime scenes in a 5-year period. But when you look at the grand total of what the industry says has been sold for these quote unquote ghost guns and things like that, I think it's less than 1% were found at crime scenes, like 0.5%, I think it was. And 29,000 in 5 years, and that's nationally. That's not just in Connecticut. That's nationally. So, digging up a few statistics like that that are provided by, the ATF, and including that if you're going to go after the ghost guns in your testimonial, that could be something really good too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and this is just it, is like that. And this is where, like, as a resident of America, citizen of America, here in Connecticut, it's like you have to let them know, like, this is why we don't like these things, is because they don't solve any problems. All they do is make us into whatever it's called, criminals. So G-Web's thing, campaign of awareness education, yes. And we're working on that. One of the things the DC project is absolutely doing is working on making sure we have bridges and clear communication among as many places as we can. And so here's the thing, Lunatic Writer. One of the things, if you go to dcproject.info and actually sign up, one of the things I'll send you immediately is a downloadable PDF on how to have a conversation. One of the challenges we have in the 2A community is that we want to educate people, but we're not listening enough, because we want to tell them why this is so stupid. But until we've talked to them enough to get them to ask a question, educating them is going to be challenging at the very least. One of my things prior to being DC Project state director is I would always go in plain clothes. I would look like one of the moms, and I would talk with them.
Put a soccer ball under your arm when you go.
Yeah, almost. But and then all of a sudden they say, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm a firearms instructor." Some of them literally would turn white for real. But then most of them were just there and they were curious. And then I was able to share with them, right? I'm not trying to educate them. I'm just trying to give them a little bit of the information that might help them change their mind. So, but it is hard. And this is where it's, when we write our testimony, it's the same thing. The politicians that are already have their mind made, we're not changing their minds. We have to make sure when we're writing our testimony, it's to maybe get someone to think about something that will change what they're thinking about. Because I can promise you, from talking to lots of legislators over the past decade, nobody wants to hear, "It's my Second Amendment right and I'm out of my cold dead hands." That does nothing to change any minds. No matter how true it is, it doesn't matter. But if you say, well, I'm 100% for violence prevention, and here are some programs that actually work and have been proven to work, whereas all this is doing is making me into a criminal. All right. If you did dumb stuff as a kid, your life no longer matters and worth your protecting yourself with the most effective means. Yeah, and the fact that nobody ever changes. That's the other thing. I actually know lots of people, but I know people who are felons because at 18 they did something. So not even going to the juvenile records, but they did something really stupid at 18 and they can't get a gun, and now they're 50 or 40 and they haven't gotten anything else. So, yeah. Last part to mention is the FBI recommendations. They'll be ignoring almost complete. Again, not trying to change the politician's mind, hoping to maybe catch the attention of somebody who's listening who didn't know better. So, Lunatic Rider, be more like this. All right, barbecue. Once we figure out our technical issues, we'll do more like this, right?
That's right. One day. One day.
All right.
So, what is CCDL doing with all this right now? How, are they raising any awareness, email campaigns, sending out mailers, letting people know, anything like that?
Why, yes, they are. As a matter of fact, when we were sharing the screen before, on their website, and which I will copy and paste so y'all can look at it if you want to. Um, they have it. If you are signed up for their free email list on Tuesday or Wednesday, they sent out an action alert as soon as there was a definite time set um, for the testimony. And then this action alert has everything in it that you need to know. It tells you that you can email your written testimony, and when you have to have it in by, it has the link for you to click on so that you can actually sign up to testify in person. Well, it's via Zoom this year. And then if you keep going down here, it will show you additional, like, all right, what's going on? How can you view this when it's happening? So those of you who are not here in Connecticut, if you want to see the pain and suffering that's happening, feel free to click in here on Monday. And then down here, they also tell you where to email, but they give you some more guidelines. They have the public hearing guide, which is made specifically for this Monday testimony. It shows you, again, where to go for your online registration form. It makes sure that you know how to remind you that it's all public. All public hearing testimony is public information, but to make sure you send it to the Judiciary Committee, because that's who's seeing this, as well as making sure you find your legislator and CC them in when you send it to them. If you don't already have their email, usually what happens is that it brings you to a form. So you have to cut and paste your email into the form. When they reply to you at that point, then you'll have their email. So they're doing a lot. There's actually CCDL is also doing they're having an event where you can actually go and hang out like we used to at the legislative building.
Okay.
So it's all over Facebook. If you're a member of CCDL, you can join the Facebook group, and they've got stuff.
It's a pretty fun group.
There.
I do follow them on the Facebooks.
On the Facebook, I know everybody hates Facebook, but there we go. Sorry, I got lost in testimony, so let me go
back. When writing your testimonies, is there a certain format that needs to be done? Do you need to have your name, address, all that included on there, or anything like that?
Not really. You want to make sure your name and your hometown is on there, because what legislators are looking at generally is who are you and where are you from.
Yes.
When I write my testimony, generally what happens is, like for me right now, when I sign it, like for one of the testimonies, because another bill that we're not talking about yet today is the 1 gun a month bill. And as a competitive shooter, I'm against that. I mean, I'm against all of these bills, or not all of them, but I'm against that particular one because as a competitive shooter, I just naturally will buy 2 guns at once because I want my pair so that I have my competition gun, my practice gun, and backup. So I'm in the wrong profile. But it can be as simple as, oh my, too many windows open.
It's all my fault.
It's all right. It's not all your fault. I tried to clean up before we started going. But yeah, so it can be a Dear Judiciary Committee. One of the cool things, actually, I think it's in the public alert. No. If you go to our CGA website and you click on the actual hearing, it'll show you a testimony that's already been submitted, and you will see that some people don't even put their names on there. They just submit testimony, and they assume because it's via email that people will add it. So yes, ideally you want to put Judiciary Committee because that's who you're writing to. You want to make sure that it's very clear if you support or oppose something. One of the things that our CCDL legislative coordinator always says is you want to maybe highlight or bold or underline the stuff that you want them to pay attention to, because just like the bill being like 50 pages, they're going through hopefully hundreds and hundreds of pieces of legislation to check on all of this. So So you can do something as simple as that. Name and town. That's it. And if you want to get fancy, you can get fancy, because some people go really crazy fancy as far as that goes. All right, I'm just going to go to the bottom of the comments and try to catch up that way. All right, Cobalt, if you choose to testify, make sure they know that their proposed law regulates those who have made prior mistakes in their adolescence, those who suffer mental health issues into secondary. Yes, it does, without a doubt.
Should also add, it should go without saying, but just something again that I remember from the comment periods. Hey, don't put profanity or threats or anything in your testimony. It's gonna fall on deaf ears. They're probably just gonna disregard it, and it's not gonna count for anything. So, if you are a person that's just so emotionally distraught by this stuff, where you're like, hey, F this and F that, and you guys are terrible. If you really got to type that out, cool. Type it out, erase it, level your head, and then type something that is clean and professional.
Absolutely.
And send it.
And that kind of goes with Gunmetal Guy USA's comment of, does the PDF have meditation tips for de-stressing after a mental battle with the stubborn anti-gunner who can't articulate why to save their life? Being funny, not really. So, yeah, I made the summary of this bill on Monday night, Tuesday night, my first couple of days of COVID, so I was extra special that day. But it is hard. And here's the thing. You have to remember, you don't want to argue with them, because there are people whose minds you will never change. And those people really are not worth your time. You want to make sure, if someone wants to talk to you about these things, that you're listening to what they're trying to do. Because violence prevention is a great thing. We all agree on that. Matter of fact, everybody that I know who actually trains with violence prevention or self-defense, what are we always doing? We want to get away from the fight. We don't want to pull our guns. We don't want to do we don't want to create violence. But I will tell you, here at a Great Start Shooting School, we do gun yoga on a regular basis. I make sure everyone's breathing deeply, and in between stuff, we're making sure we're having fun, because, on the range with guns is always fun. But
Indeed.
And and to G Webb's point, open a mind, change a mind. Exactly. But the problem is you cannot open someone else's door. If they're not willing to have that crack in the door to let you in, nothing you say, nothing that you can say, will actually make a difference. So Ozzy, I don't know about being out of state. Here's the thing. When you go to the website and click on the thing that says submit your testimony, it actually doesn't ask which state you're from. It just asks for a state. So if you were to take the time to do that, it might get posted up. It may not get posted up. I'm not really sure. So
yeah, I was wondering about that myself.
But yeah, and as a stay-at-home dad, I am a stay-at-home disabled dad of 3, right? So you were somebody who would have been in the suit CCL had not that long ago. All right, I think I'm caught up with everything that everybody said, so we must have lost everyone by now. But anyway, Lunatic Rider, start making videos, put that there are 80% firearms and how often they are used in crimes compared to being built at home by gunsmithing. I need more help, though. All right, well, maybe Barbecue can volunteer for that one, because I don't know the stats on all of that. I just know that,
like I said, that was offered by the ATF last year during the comment period for redefinition of firearms and receivers. I am on live. Go.
His kids really are cute, though.
Yeah, let's say I too am a disabled father of 3, and they don't have school today. Lucky me. But yeah, I do have that written down somewhere. I actually just found that notebook the other night, just unpacking stuff from when I moved back in September, and I was like, hot dang. So I do have that written down, so if anybody wants that information, get a hold of me. You can email me at gunsnbbq@gmail.com. Likewise, if you go over to my channel, I have links to my Instagram and Guns-n-BBQ Facebook page, and I can be you can reach me via messaging through both of those platforms as well. And if anybody just wants help writing testimonials and Brooke is tied up or something, I'm more than happy to do that. I'm going to be free pretty much all of tonight. Then tomorrow, I've got a wrestling tournament for my daughter. And then after that, I'll be free, and I can even try and help in the middle. And then Sunday, I should again be free. I don't have much of a life. So if anybody needs that assistance, I'm more than happy to help.
Yeah, and to that point, like when we're talking about what to put in, whatnot. So the law is, don't put DAF because hopefully y'all, because I'm not going to say what that means, because hopefully y'all can figure that one out. And but if you take out the DAF, the rest of it makes sense. And like Cobalt put, treat it like an interoffice email. Change the, those words, colorful choice of language to proper professional office speak, because nobody likes getting yelled at or sworn at. And yes, the thesaurus or dictionary, they make it even easier because it's online now. And actually,
that's true.
And here's I'll show you another little trick thing that I just learned. So if you notice, if I go over this and I highlight it, this little W thing shows up. If I click on that, it'll give me suggestions of how I could change that and make it better. So if you're writing a whole bunch of stuff, Grammarly helps. So not that I'm not trying to sell any of that or anything, and I'm using the mouse on the wrong screen. So hi, Kitty. All right. So so that's everything. As far as helping write testimony, I am back online I'm having office hours is what I'm calling them. Tonight it is 6 to 7. If you want to go there, like I already posted up my Great Start Shooting School link, go to events, and the Zoom links for my office time are going to be in the event. You just have to click on the description, and they're all there. So 6 o'clock tonight, noon tomorrow, and also 7 o'clock tomorrow night before Suicide French and Saturday at 9. So I think that's everything. Goodness gracious, we've already talked for an hour. Granted, the first 10 minutes were technical difficulties, but
I hope it was just 10 minutes. I really hope it was just 10 minutes because, man.
It is what it is. So, all right.
I would like to mention anybody that happens to be watching over on my side, which is not many. I think they majority matriculated over here, luckily. But if you are watching over on my side, pinned up in the comments are links to A Great Start Shooting School YouTube channel, DC Project, and Connecticut Citizens Defense League. All three of those links are places where you can find Brooke and see the amazing things she's doing. So be sure to click on those, save them, the whole 9 yards.
Ooh, and I just noticed the hashtag educate, not legislate. By all means, please share that everywhere too.
Yes.
That is part of our DC project thing. And I forget who came up with it, but Teal Team 2 is also a, another one of those things. Hashtags, Teal Team 2. So, all right.
Oh, well, thank Teal Team 2? I thought it was Teal Team 6. Crap.
Yeah, no, Teal Team 2. It's TTT. That's alliteration or something, right?
Yes, yes.
Confused. And Vanessa, I don't know. Where should you be posting? Oh, were you posting over on barbecues? So yeah, maybe, possibly. So yeah. All right. What else? Anything? You did your little thing for checking out the description. I don't have anything in this description yet, as far as I know. I have sample testimonies. CCDL has sample testimonies. Gun shops in Connecticut right now are trying to have people in their stores if you need help writing testimony.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's another thing CCDL did last night was any gun stores, please let us know. We'll send people to you wherever you are.
Any that you can think of off the top of your head that are doing this, where if people are listening, they can be like, oh, I can run in there right now, get a box of ammo, get a gun, and you know what? Write a testimony and get this in. And the reason that would be enticing.
Yeah. It's in the CCDL group. Peter Estrada. So if you're part of CCDL, I'm trying to think. You're asking what else CCDL is? I forgot the whole. Oh yeah, the testimony day night. They're renting a hall so everybody can hang out and make it like it used to be in the time of testimony. But Delta Arsenal.
You still there? Or are you just reading? Looks like she froze, folks. Is that just on my end?
All right, so Peter Estrada. Am I back? Crap,
Yeah.
dude. Sorry, that was my side.
All right. I was worried it was me. I was like, uh-oh.
No, that was.
I was hollering at the girls. I was like, hey, go see if the internet got unplugged.
No, it was here. It's like for some reason, all of a sudden, I just thought I had zero. But all right, so sorry. Where did y'all lose me?
Peter Estrada. Then you had mentioned like the first gun shop, and
So
I'm so terrible. I don't even remember what the name of it was because I got so
okay.
distracted with the freeze.
that we were dying. All right, so it's Delta Arsenal. And
Where are they located?
They are in Wallingford, Connecticut, and apparently, Kitty knows where it is. And that's in Wallingford. So that's 4:00 today. And Peter is he told me he's part of CCDL leadership team. He's Hispanic and something outreach, and I forget what it's called. So that is one of them that I could find really easily. And I know in CCDL I put up my stuff so that people can find me.
I assume she's going to say at a Great Start Shooting School on YouTube. I believe it's also a greatstartshootingschool.com. Hopefully she'll be back here in a minute. As she stated, she is having some internet difficulties. This has been just an interesting stream for the two of us, to say the least. You can also go find her over on the DC Project page, which you can go find at dcproject.info. And I know she's
involved. I'd be willing to bet.
Oh.
Well, at least your stream keeps going.
Let's say.
Yeah, I think this is mean that we should probably end now. So yeah, because third time is not going to be the charm, I don't think. All right, so yeah, I heard you say after I froze, so I can hear you for a minute after I freeze. I'm like waiting for me to freeze.
Oh, that's good at least.
Yeah, so at least I know that I've frozen. So yeah, Delta Arsenal 4:00 on, and the whole reason CCL is doing this is because they know not everyone's online, right? We're doing this here online to get this done. Oops, and yeah, everything just keeps changing. Sorry, I keep trying to get them off, and I keep just clicking on the next one. So they're doing it in gun ranges or in gun stores and gun ranges this weekend because they know not everyone's online. And so they're literally having pieces of paper that people can just sign and send in. And so what happens is then on Monday, CCDL will actually go to the legislative building and drop off all of these written testimonies as well. So yeah, it must be the Yankee internet. And the worst part of it is my husband actually just upgraded our internet because I told him I was having problems with my streaming. So.
Oh yeah. Well, isn't he such a sweet guy?
Yeah, so I don't know. So Hoffman's probably is doing something. I don't know. And Newington Gun Exchange is another one that may or may not have stuff up. I know here in Torrington, A&J Gun Shop supports me, and I called them yesterday to make sure that they're letting people know that they can come to me for testimony help. I would have gone in person, but like I said, getting over the COVID, don't want to be a jerk. So here I am. All right. So before we crash, should we say goodbye now?
Absolutely. And I'd like to say thank you to him, Kjo. He sniped a bot over in my text chat. I checked it periodically. That's why y'all get to see the top of my bald head because being blind, I got to get really close to the screen. But yeah, I just had jumped over there to see if I was missing anything, and noticed that he had sniped that one for me. So thank you very much, sir.
All right. And apparently, MKJo coordinated G Webs. I'm supposed to make you a moderator. So email me or message me somehow or another. All right, barbecue. Well, thank you for putting this all together. And, we'll have to play offline to figure out what
Yes.
our problems are. And thank you, everybody who's commented and stopped in. And God bless you if you actually watched this entire hour and 9 minutes. I'm impressed.
Especially in replay after the first 10 minutes where we're like, there was an echo. Sorry.
I will. I'll try to go edit on mine, I think, and chop that off.
There you go. And yeah, thanks for everything that you're doing with this. Like I said, it wasn't anything that I heard about this week. I feel like it just kind of flew under the radar for some reason, but this seems pretty egregious.
It is. And I mean, quite honestly, the biggest challenge is that America is currently under attack from within.
Yep.
And I don't think there's a state out there currently that is not dealing with some horrific gun bills. And I am just more worried for Connecticut because I find that anything that flies in Connecticut, Murphy and Blumenthal will grab onto and try to push it federally. So I do think maybe Connecticut needs more attention. I know that some places just give up on us because like, oh, well, yeah. You're never going to. It's like, yeah, I know, but we really need to fight here. We really need to fight hard. So again, thanks, everybody.
Alrighty.
Cheers. Oh,
have a lovely day, folks.
That I have to thank my hot tea coming from my shotgun, what is it called, thermos, that barbecue happened to send to me because I won it on his channel.
Yep. So there might be another one coming to your place.
Oh yeah, cool.
There might be. I might have ordered it today since you said that your daughter tried to steal it.
She did.
She can have her own now.
Oh, poor Vanessa. She's got her dilated eyes. That's never fun.
Ooh.
Oh, so we'll see what the ruling in June is nationwide, right?
Yes.
And just because she said that, here's the deal. For real people, not about just this Monday, you have to get involved in the process. You have to talk to everybody you know to make sure they vet who is running for office. And if there isn't anyone, make it be you. I am an elected official here in Harwington. I do run for office. I don't ask you to do something I don't do. It's not for everyone because being a politician is super hard. But we have to be more involved in the political system. All right, I'm really going to hit end broadcast now, I swear.
All right.
All right.
Not polite to swear.
I know. Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't. I just said I would swear. I didn't say anything bad. So,
okay.
All right. Ozzy's got the same service. All right. Goodbye. Anyone who wants help, like I said, I'll be back on at 6 in my Zoom room, noon and 7 tomorrow. Again, barbecue, thanks for this idea.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Yeah, anyone who hasn't been to barbecues, I'll drop a link in his. I wasn't as prepared as he was.
Okay.
All right. Bye, hun.